Okay, so let's dive in. Whether your job has you pretty much rooted to a chair for 8 hours straight, or maybe you're constantly on the move, standing, lifting, chances are your body feels it by the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely. That stiffness, the tension,
Yeah.
just that general achy feeling. It's the modern work reality, isn't it?
It really is. Our bodies, they're designed for varied movement, right?
Yeah.
But we subject them to these long periods of stillness or maybe super repetitive actions.
Yeah, and it definitely takes a toll.
For sure. And you sent over this really great collection of sources, articles, some studies, practical guides, all looking at the physical impacts of, well, our modern work environments, whether that's sitting or standing.
Right. And focusing on how movement, especially ideas drawn from yoga, might offer some accessible ways to push back against those effects.
Exactly. The material really digs into why we feel the way we do after a long day and then offers this surprisingly practical toolkit.
Yeah, ways to integrate physical relief, some strengthening right into our daily routines. It's all based on what yoga practices can teach us.
So, our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack these sources together, pull out the most powerful insights, and figure out the most practical ways you, listening right now, can weave effective movement, those moments of relief, into even the busiest workday, all guided by what these sources are telling us.
Sounds great. Let's explore. Let's see what's in there.
All right, so the sources, they start by painting a pretty clear picture of the problem. They actually call it the danger zone of stillness.
Hmm.
And they really zero in on the office chair, this, seemingly harmless invention.
Yeah, it's a major culprit. It fundamentally changes our natural posture, how we hold ourselves.
How so? What does it describe?
Well, it talks about how prolonged sitting just encourages shoulders to
Yeah.
round forward.
Uh,
The lower back loses its natural curve. It sort of collapses. Hips get tight. Even leg muscles can shorten over time. It's like this
wow.
cascade effect of misalignment.
And here's the really kind of tricky part, maybe a bit disheartening. The sources suggest the longer we sit like that in those compromised positions,
Mm.
the more this uncomfortable, misaligned posture starts to feel, well, normal.
Right. Our body adapts, even negatively. It's amazing. But yeah, it begins to accept that discomfort as just the baseline, even though it's really not healthy at all.
And this adaptation, it has pretty significant downstream effects, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. The sources don't really pull punches there. They talk about serious health risks tied directly to sitting too much.
Like what?
Increased risks of obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, even a higher likelihood of early death.
Yikes. That's pretty serious stuff.
It is. And it's not just structural, like posture. It's also metabolic. The sources note that sitting for long stretches causes a metabolic slowdown.
Like your body's engine just goes into idle.
Exactly. Fewer calories burned, circulation dips. And this isn't just about weight. It connects directly to lower energy levels, feeling lethargic,
Mm-hmm.
and it can even impact your mood. They link it to increased risk of depression, moodiness.
So feeling sluggish isn't just in your head.
Not at all. And here's the crucial insight, the thing highlighted again and again in these sources.
Okay.
You cannot counteract, you can't just undo 8, 10, 12 hours of sitting still with a single, intense gym session before or after work.
Right. So hitting the gym hard doesn't just erase the damage.
Apparently not. That metabolic state, the postural strain, it's not something you can just wipe clean in one go.
So it's not just about being fit outside of work hours. The actual time spent sitting is the issue itself.
Precisely. Which is why the sources really hammer home that frequent movement throughout the day is what's crucial.
Frequent movement, like what?
Well, they even cite a Mayo Clinic study suggesting that tiny movements, just shifting in your chair, doing
Yeah.
simple stretches, even tapping your feet.
Really? Foot tapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that can significantly impact your metabolism and overall health markers. It's about consistent little interventions, not just those big scheduled workouts.
That really reframes things, doesn't it? It's not just about adding exercise, it's changing how you handle stillness during the day.
Exactly. It's about breaking up those long static periods.
Which leads us perfectly into the solutions presented in the sources,
Mhm.
bringing in some yoga and simple stretching. So what are the key benefits they say we can expect if we start doing this?
Well, the benefits they outline are pretty comprehensive. They directly tackle the problems we just talked about.
Okay.
They suggest these practices can help, boost your metabolism, get that engine off idle, burn some extra calories, significantly reduce aches and pains, improve overall quality of life, and importantly, help mitigate the negative effects of stress that often come with demanding jobs.
Even simple routines.
Yeah, even very simple routines are said to make a noticeable difference.
And they offer a really practical way to structure it, don't they? Integrating movement throughout the day with these suggested pre-work, at-work, and post-work sessions.
Exactly. Breaking it down like that makes it feel much less daunting than, trying to squeeze in a full hour-long class somewhere.
Right. So tell me about those sessions. What's the focus for each? Let's start with pre-work.
Okay, pre-work. The goal there, according to the sources, is really to prepare the body. Loosen up key areas like your hips and shoulders. Wake up the spine before you settle in for the day.
So, like a warm-up.
Kind of. Poses mentioned are things designed to open the chest and shoulders. Maybe gentle spinal movements like cat and cow, where you arch and round your back with your breath. Just getting some mobility in there.
Got it. Waking up the system before the sitting starts. Then, the at-work session, done at or near your desk. Right. That sounds like it's meant to directly counteract the stiffness happening during the day.
Precisely. These are movements you can do seated or maybe standing briefly right by your chair. The sources suggest using them whenever you feel stiff or just need a quick mental break.
What kind of things?
Think seated variations that help lengthen the spine, maybe a simple seated twist, literally just gently turning your torso side to side. It's apparently excellent for releasing tension that builds up in the mid and upper back from sitting.
Okay, super accessible. And then the post-work session. Sounds like it's all about unwinding.
Yeah, that's the focus. Releasing, recovering, shedding the day's stress. The sources describe it as perfect for de-stressing and working out those kinks that built up.
What kind of poses?
They suggest things that promote deep relaxation, like a variation of child's pose, where you can just fully let go, or maybe a supported bridge pose variation to help ease lower back tension after sitting or standing all day. It's about shifting gears, transitioning out of work mode.
That structure feels really actionable. Okay, now the sources also had this interesting section framed kind of like a Q&A. It feels like they were anticipating exactly what someone listening might be thinking right now.
Yeah, addressing the common barriers, the concerns, head on.
Let's dig into those practicalities. First up, carpal tunnel syndrome. This is so common now, right? Not just typing, but constantly being on our smartphone.
Mm-hmm. Very common.
What do the sources say about preventing or relieving that?
They really emphasize the critical need for frequent stretching, specifically targeting the wrists, hands, and fingers. It's not just about carpal tunnel, it's about overall hand and arm health. Really.
Yeah. Any specific examples they give?
Yeah, they mention stretches that involve extending the wrist in both directions, flexing and extending, or even poses where you press your palm into the floor, like gorilla pose, to help counteract all that flexion and tension from typing and texting.
Makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what about the person who feels genuinely stuck sitting all day? Like their job just doesn't allow for much movement.
Right, the sources acknowledge that's a reality for some people. For those who have to sit for long periods, they stress two main things.
Okay.
One, prioritizing good posture. Whenever you can think about it, sitting tall, trying to keep your feet flat, shoulders relaxed down. And they point out that doing regular yoga outside of work actually helps you maintain better posture while you're sitting.
Okay, so posture is number one. What's number two?
It's an intriguing alternative to traditional office chairs. The exercise ball.
The exercise ball, seriously, over like an expensive ergonomic chair?
Yeah, that's what they suggest might be better for some. The argument is the ball encourages better posture, almost automatically, because you have to use your core muscles just slightly to stay balanced. It gives you immediate, pretty undeniable feedback if you start slouching or losing that good alignment. It prompts you to correct it, or maybe just stand up for a moment.
So unlike a chair that just props you up.
Exactly. The ball demands a bit more active engagement, which can actually help build core strength and that postural awareness over time.
Huh. Interesting perspective. Okay, shifting gears a bit. Corporate yoga. The sources mention this is becoming more common.
It is. And, for good reason. Companies are starting to recognize that link between employee well-being and, frankly, their productivity.
Right. Happy workers, better work.
Basically, happy, less stressed workers are often more engaged, more efficient. The sources suggest that even just expressing interest to your HR department or maybe your manager, perhaps mentioning if other coworkers are also interested, can be a good starting point to get the ball rolling.
And what if the company isn't quite ready to, fully fund a program?
Then they offer a really practical, very cost-effective suggestion. Organize a private group session with colleagues right there at the office.
Okay, how would that work?
To give a specific example, let's say a yoga instructor charges maybe $75 an hour for a private session. if 10 coworkers chip in.
Yeah.
That works out to less than $8 per person per session. So it makes getting accessible, instructor-led movement surprisingly affordable right there where you work.
That's a brilliant, really practical tip. Okay, beyond the physical aches, stress is such a huge factor in modern work. What do the sources suggest for finding some relief during the workday?
They really highlight that powerful connection between your breath, your body, and your mind. They explain why simple breathing techniques can offer almost instant calm.
Like what kind of technique?
They describe a specific breath retention technique you can do right at your desk, very discreetly. You inhale slowly for a count of 2. Then you hold your breath for 2 counts.
Okay.
Then you repeat that inhale for 2, hold for 2 more times, sort of layering the breath in without exhaling yet.
So 3 inhale holds in total.
Right. And after those 3 cycles, you exhale fully and slowly through your mouth. And you just repeat that whole sequence maybe 5 to 8 times.
Wow.
It's a really quiet, discreet way to just interrupt that stress cycle when you feel it building.
That sounds incredibly practical, easy to do without anyone noticing. Okay, let's tackle the elephant in the room for doing stretches or movements at work. The practicalities and, well, how it might be perceived. Do you need special clothes? A mat?
Nope. The sources are very clear on this. For the suggested at work stuff, absolutely no mat or change of clothes needed. These movements are designed to be done right in your work clothes, often seated, or just using your chair for a bit of support.
Okay, good. And will people think you're weird if you suddenly start doing a seated twist at your desk?
Huh. Well, they acknowledge it might initially draw some attention, sure, but they suggest curiosity is actually far more likely than judgment. Yeah. The advice is pretty simple. Just be ready to explain, briefly and confidently, why you're taking these short moments for your health. Own your choice to prioritize feeling better. You might even find colleagues asking you to show them a stretch.
That's good advice. Be confident about it. So, how often should someone ideally be moving or stretching? What did the sources say about frequency?
They referenced a study, I think it was from New Balance's corporate offices, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It found that individuals who managed to incorporate movement or stretching as often as every 30 minutes.
Every half hour. Wow.
Yeah. They reported significant improvements. They felt happier, more comfortable, and had better engagement and concentration throughout the day.
So the takeaway is really clear. Frequency matters a lot. Even just getting up to walk to the water cooler or doing one quick stretch every half hour can make a real difference.
Definitely. Small, frequent breaks seem key.
Speaking of feeling, why does sitting all day often make you feel so tired? It seems like it should be the opposite, right? You're not exerting energy.
Yeah, it feels counterintuitive. But the sources explain it pretty simply. That lack of movement actually sends a signal to your body that it's time to wind down, maybe even time to sleep.
Oh, okay.
Combine that with the mental fatigue, the eye strain from staring at screens all day, which apparently reduces how often you blink, leading to dry, tired eyes. And you've basically got a recipe for feeling drained.
So what's the solution they offer?
Simple, though maybe not always easy. Move. Introduce movement. It signals wakefulness, boosts circulation, counters that wind down signal.
Movement is literally energizing.
Got it. Now, what about people on the other side of the coin? Those who stand all day instead of sitting. The sources also address that, right? That standing isn't necessarily better.
Absolutely. Standing for really long periods, especially on hard floors or maybe with unsupportive shoes, that can lead to its own whole set of problems. Foot pain, swelling in the legs and feet, lower back issues, even circulatory stress.
So what can yoga offer for standers? Well, the sources highlight specific yoga poses that can help counteract those effects too. For instance, they mention poses like Tadasana, which is mountain pose. It helps you cultivate proper standing alignment, distributing weight better.
Okay.
Or Viparita Karani, which is legs up the wall pose. That's suggested specifically for reducing leg swelling and fatigue because it helps circulation. But they note you really need a wall to get the full relaxing benefit of that one.
Right, propping your legs up. Makes sense. And finally, what about those persistent work headaches? Can yoga actually help with that?
Yes, the sources state pretty clearly that yoga can be very effective for headache relief. The author even shares some personal experience using yoga for pain management, including headaches.
And are there simple things you can do at your desk?
Definitely. They list several simple, desk-friendly poses, things you can do anywhere, anytime, no mat needed. Think gentle neck stretches to release tension in the upper back and neck, which often contributes to headaches. Or even a variation of child's pose done seated, just folding forward gently to encourage relaxation and ease tension.
It's really quite impressive how many common workplace complaints, physical and mental, these sources suggest yoga-inspired movement can potentially address.
Yeah, they really make a strong case for movement as a form of, like, essential workplace wellness, not just exercise you do somewhere else.
So, wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway here for you, the listener? Whether you're dealing with the challenges of sitting too much or maybe standing all day, the core message from all these sources seems powerful and pretty clear.
Yeah, it's that mitigating the negative effects of your work environment isn't really about that one heroic workout you hope will fix everything.
Right. It's more fundamental than that.
It's fundamentally about weaving small, consistent, intentional moments of movement, maybe some breath work, simple poses throughout your actual workday. It's like microdosing your well-being.
I like that, microdosing well-being. And the benefits highlighted across these different sources, they cover a huge spectrum, don't they?
Totally. From very concrete physical relief, like for carpal tunnel or back pain, all the way to significant improvements in energy levels, your mood, stress management, even focus and productivity at work.
It's a really compelling argument for just reclaiming little pockets of time during the workday for your physical and mental health.
Couldn't agree more.
Which leaves us with this final thought for you to maybe ponder based on everything we've dug into from these sources. If it's true that even micro movements like simply tapping your feet or taking just one moment for a deliberate breath can have a measurable positive impact on your metabolism, your energy, your overall health,
Hmm.
where else in your daily routine might you find that tiny, seemingly insignificant but consistent shifts could unlock surprisingly significant improvements? Not just physically, but across your entire sense of well-being, mentally, emotionally.
That's a great question to reflect on.
Something to consider as you get back to your day.